Hey everybody, Coach Shelly-Anne here. Wanted to chat with you a little bit today about this up and down feeling that so many of us are experiencing right now. I know myself, I found myself feeling one way one day, I'm feeling tired and I want to do nothing but sleep. The next day I'm happy, the next day sad. And so this mixture of emotions is happening for a very good reason. And I want to shed some light on that for you. And then I also want you to be able to walk away with the ability to maybe change how you see this opportunity before us or this experience that we're going through. And so it was my own challenge with this up and down and not understanding why it was happening that made me go on a bit of a journey and to try to figure that out. And it was interesting because I found this podcast by Brene Brown, who I love dearly, and she was interviewing this fellow by the name of David Kessler, and they were talking about the processes or the stages, of grief, and how that there are, when you go through a grieving process, when you lose someone that you love, and how you go through these different stages. And they were sharing about how that this really is no different. This pandemic that we're all going through right now, and how this is really no different than any other loss. And when you think about it, we have lost a lot, and these are specifically tied to freedoms and just this, the ability to do what it is we wanted when we wanted and where we wanted it and how we wanted, and that's all been impacted. And so we have lost a lot of different things, and some of them more meaningful than others. But at the same time, when you think about even what life was like pre 9/11, we were living life one way, and then after 9/11, it was a very different experience. And so, this is very much going to be the same, is that our life is going to be different. It won't be the same as it was ever before the pandemic. And so I think that just knowing that, and everybody's thinking about that, there is a grieving happening in that. And so this mixed emotions that we're feeling are completely normal, and you're going to cycle through them at different points. So today you might feel really good. Maybe 3 hours from now, you maybe feel a little sad. You watch the news, you're feeling angry, you're feeling scared. So all of these things it's going to cycle back and forth. But here's the cool thing, is that what they had shared in that podcast was about how that there's this other stage as part of the grieving cycle as well. And that it's around developing meaning, and how that you can actually use the grief process to create meaning. And that when you do that, it's almost like it changes that experience, and it makes it that much easier to go through. I don't know if I'm using the right words here, but I guess, I really thought about this myself in that, what can I do during this time to actually make this a meaningful experience for me? Like, I'm not happy about it, but I certainly can't control it. And so 6-8 months down the line, when I look back at this time, what do I want to be proud of having done in this, or utilized my time with to do? Or so that's the stage anyways, that they're saying that if you can find a way to create meaningful moments during this time, then it'll just be better for us. And so, how can you create meaningful moments here? For example, I had a client whose goals shifted dramatically, and, they were around their business and what they were going to do and take it to the next level. But then all of a sudden, when all this happened, their goals started to become more around, how could they make this time that they were spending with their son, in isolation, more powerful and meaningful. And they decided that they were going to really focus on deepening that relationship and taking it to the next level. We have, holidays around the corner here too. People are celebrating. How can you make a meaningful memory out of this that is a positive one and is creative, I guess, when you think of it that way too. So here's my thing for you, is I really am curious to how you can create meaning during this time, or maybe you're doing things already that way, or maybe you have some ideas around that. But I really seriously want to know. Put it in the comments below here. I want to engage with you on that. I want to talk to you about that. Love to hear your thoughts on how you can make meaningful moments happen here. And we can't change what's here. It is what it is. And so I think that's been a big part of it for me too, is just accepting what is. And that's a part of the grief stages too. Just acceptance that this is the way it is. So this is why we're feeling that the way that we're feeling, because this is really no different than grieving the loss of a loved one. And so with that thought, this Gypsy is hitting the road. We'll see you soon.